opening, Revan?
Hello, everybody, and welcome. It's the PlayStation Experience. I thought you were going to be the one opening it.
Not this morning,
You tricked
buddy.
me.
It's Championship Sunday. You're in the power seat. We're having a great time here at PSX, a brand new day, and it is Championship Sunday.
Yeah, I'm excited to get this one going. We're going to have back-to-back North American versus European matches. A big day for European Call of Duty here for Infinite Warfare.
Absolutely. So let's break down how it's all going to work today. Of course, we have our invitational event happening here at the PlayStation Experience. Today, we're down to just 6 teams. It's going to be Renegades and Orbit from Group A in their decider match here at 10 o'clock. In an hour and 15 minutes, we're going to see Rise Nation versus Elevate in Group B, and that's going to help seed our semifinals. Luminosity, that's your team from Group B. They're waiting to see who comes out of this match. That'll be played a little bit later, and then FaZe will play the winner of Rise versus Elevate, and one of the most interesting matches of the day. But everyone's really looking forward to 3 o'clock here on the Pacific Coast, Revan, as we're going to have our grand finals live from PSX.
That's going to be sick. I mean, if I were to give you my prediction coming into the event, I thought it was going to be FaZe versus Luminosity in the grand finals, but the way the Europeans have come to play at this event, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe somebody like Orbit or even Elevate find their way in the grand final spot.
It's going to be a great day. Before we get into the games, though, we want to catch you up with what you might have missed yesterday. Huge announcements live from the event. CWL Atlanta Open. We're going to have an open bracket event in Atlanta on the East Coast, February 10th through the 12th. We're going to have open teams from North America, EU, and APAC all able to compete. And if you want more information, you can go to callofduty.com/CWL. But don't worry, you're not on the East Coast, you can't make it to Atlanta. A few months later, we're going to the West Coast. We're taking it back to the same city we're in right now, June 16th through the 18th, here at the Anaheim Convention Center. We will have the CWL Anaheim Open.
Anaheim's always been a historic event for Call of Duty. Some of the best memories across any Call of Duty title has happened in Anaheim. Can't wait to be coming back.
And at the end of the day, the biggest announcement yesterday, of course, had to be the Global League. If you didn't hear about it, well, you're hearing it here first. We will have our Global Pro League on land. It begins in April at the MLG Arena in Columbus, Ohio. All kinds of new production tools, toys, and equipment has been sent to Columbus. We are prepared to have 16 teams competing in the first Global League on land for Call of Duty, and we're going to have Australian representation. We're going to have players from the EU, as well as 9 North American teams there.
Global representation in the Global League only makes sense. This is something that the players have wanted for so long, the fans have wanted for so long, and it's finally happening.
Absolutely. Now to catch you up with what is coming up in just a few weeks. That, of course, is all 2017 news. We also have another event to close out 2016 in just 10 days, basically. We are heading to Vegas. It is the $100,000 CWL Vegas Open, your first chance to earn some land points here for the CWL season. For more information, head over to MLG.TV/Vegas. We'll be at the Mandalay Bay Hotel and Casino. Incredible spot right on the Strip. Always so much fun. We've had MLG events in Vegas in the past. This one is set to be another incredible tournament for Call of Duty Infinite Warfare.
Yeah, I haven't told Adam yet, but I'm taking the whole prize pool and I'm putting it on black.
I like that move.
So either the players are going to have $100,000 more to play for, or they're going to have nothing.
I would love to see the winning team actually just take that big old check at the end of the day, just be like, all on red. Let's throw it down. Guys, let's catch you up with what's happening here, though, today. Group A, this is how things shook out. You had EG facing off against Orbit. A hot 3-0 from Orbit sent EG to the loser's bracket, where they eventually had to play Renegades, who lost to FaZe. That went the distance to a Game 5, but Renegades was able to get that win. Now they are here in the decider match, playing against an Orbit squad that also got 3-0'd by FaZe. So both teams fighting for their lives here, and the winner, they don't have an easy road ahead of them. They'll be playing Luminosity next.
Yeah, Luminosity, an opponent to be feared coming out of Group B there. Luminosity, from what I've seen from them in some of the online scrims, they looked really good. And as I was saying before, I would expect them to go up against FaZe in the grand finals. But speaking of Group B, this is how everything played out. Kicking things off, Elevate 3-0'd Rise Nation. Second match, LG took out E United in a pretty close match, 3-1. And then, wow, that Rise E United match, see who would get eliminated. Thought we were going to see that 0-5 comeback. Unfortunately, Pac-Man and the boys unable to make that happen. Rise Nation live to fight another day as they'll match up against Elevate coming up after this first match.
E United looking a lot stronger than a lot of people expected. You know, Splice not here at this event. E United jumps into their position last minute. Silly looked incredible, dropped 55 kills on a hard point. But Silly, he's out of the tournament. He's watching from the sidelines today. We're opening up game number 1 right now. This is Renegades facing off against Orbit. It is NA versus EU. Revan, you're driving this bus today, and we are going to be starting things off here. Who do you want to watch, man?
I'm going to start things off with the Renegades lineup.
Well, we'll start up in a minute here. One player did not get in, no problem. We will get them going. But Scorch Hardpoint, you said you want to watch this Renegades team. Why are you watching the North Americans?
Because when you're on the side that Renegades is initially spawning on, it's up to you to put yourself in a better position for the next hardpoint, which is over near the back turbine. So Renegades have to be the aggressors here. Orbit, they're fine holding the side of the map that they initially spawn on. So Renegades have to be more aggressive on the map, which means we're going to see more interactions from them.
Let's take a look at this squad. If you're not familiar with the Renegades lineup, this is a team that finished second in Season 2 of Black Ops 3, or Stage 2 rather of CWL Black Ops 3. Chino, Diabolic, and Sender now playing with Ivy. And what I find most interesting is they let Ivy have one of the most important traits in the game. Propulsion is going to be used by the objective player.
Yeah, for propulsion, because you can regenerate your thrusters so quickly, you want to give it to your player who's going to embrace the movement the most. So on the side of Orbit, it's going to be going to Urban. On the side of Renegades, we already talked about it, they're going to be getting it to Ivy. So look for Ivy to be flying around, trying to make the most of that propulsion trait.
And here we go, getting into the action. This time it looks like Diabolic may not have been able to join in. It's the first match of the day. Charm. Fresh equipment, starting all fresh. But let's take this moment to introduce you to our European lineup. Now, two of these guys finished second at the Call of Duty Championships. Of course, that was Raiden and Joe playing on Splice. These two now playing alongside a duo from Infused in Zero and Urban. And speaking of Urban, they say that this man may be the greatest player in Europe. You talk to different teams, they'll all tell you a different guy is the best player in Europe, but Elevate even had to say if it's not Zed, it's definitely got to be Urban as the best player in the game right now.
Man, Urban's been killing it, especially in some of the online scrims that he's been playing with this team. They've been telling me that he's been averaging 40 kills in the hardpoint, 40 kills in the uplink. Granted, it is against solely European competition. Things a little bit tougher here in North America, but he's still putting up great numbers. Plus, he has a phenomenal supporting cast around him. You have Zero, one of the star players from Infused last year, Urban's teammate on that roster. Then, like you're saying, Joe and Rated. Even though these guys were like the supporting cast on the Splice lineup, they certainly held their own throughout the year.
And Revan, when you look at this team, how would you describe them? Because I kind of feel like they're the bad boys of Europe.
The bad boys?
These are the guys who aren't afraid to talk smack to the North Americans. In fact, I saw a big blow-up between Rated and Clayster at the end of the FaZe Orbit match. These two went at each other. There's been some trash talk online, some trash talk in person, and after Clayster handed out the big 3-0, he made sure that Rated knew about it.
Yeah, look, I'll tell you what, if you want to talk a big game like that and you want to trash talk, that's all fine and dandy, but you got to be able to back it up in the game. You got to produce some victories here, and Clayster, I mean, the guy's got just about every accolade you could ever want as a competitor. Call of Duty World Champion. He's got an X Games gold medal as well. It's tough for Rated to kind of go at a historical player like that.
I'm trying to think. Has Clayster ever won COD Champs?
Yeah.
Which year?
Advanced Warfare.
Oh, thank you. I totally blanked on that denial here. I was like, well, Rated outplaced him last year. Is that a career high? No, not at all. It's way too early out here on the West Coast, but we are getting into our first match. It looks like we are getting into the game finally. This is Hardpoint on Scorch. If you haven't watched it before, this is going to be the first team to 250 points, and most of the time we are going to see all 250 points. Very rarely does this one go to the time limit. We're opening things up here with the Renegade squad, as you mentioned, Revan, and who's your player to watch? Yesterday, Diabolic had the hot hand, and a lot of the Respawn game modes didn't have the best S&Ds, but this is always a dangerous player.
Yeah, of course, Diabolic, an explosive player on this Renegades lineup, but we always like to refer to another player, Sender, as the X factor for the team. If you're seeing Sender find success around the map, that means Renegades are more than likely going to win the match.
And off the break, you're going to see Urban and Joe in the kill feed, but Ivy and Diabolic answer right back. Urban is going to pick up his second, and Zero will clean up Center. So clean sweep for Orbit. They should have initial control. It's going to be up to Chino and the rest of Renegades to break through on this next push, and big kills coming in from both players.
Somehow Rated died by his own trophy system. That's a little unfortunate, but it allows Renegades to push on forward. They take control of the hardpoint, and I see Chino in such a great position. Switching back over to the Orbit lineup. It's Urban now on your screen, trying to zone out the player in the corner. 3 go down for Orbit. Joe's the last one alive. Renegades, as they clear out the hard point, they push on forward. With 15 seconds remaining, you want to start rotating towards the next hard point over near the back lava pipes.
Now, you see the scoreboard 28-10 and counting here for Orbit, but how did Orbit lose control so quickly? What did Renegades do right there?
It all came when Renegades just floated right on through the hard point. That's when Zero died by his own trophy system. When Renegades had the man advantage, it just pushed right on through. Because there's only one player for Orbit that can contest there, but Orbit somehow find a way to win the rotation here. I'm going to switch over to somebody inside the hard point. It's going to be Joe. And this is such a strong position to hold when you push up and hold your position behind the counter, but Renegades off the back of a well-coordinated team push, they take control of the hard point, and now they're fighting for a better position.
And here comes Diabolic from Renegades, able to pick off Urban, so no one behind the cover. And Diabolic knows he's just got to stay alive. You got to buy time for your teammates to get in there. Now he has one stacked up, make it two. Joe and Rated trying to answer back, but Diabolic gets a pick. Rated and Urban fly through with the OSAs, though, and will clean house for the moment, but they know now all three players are going to be charging from the back entrance, and this should be a Renegades retake unless Zero can lock it down.
Zero, big engagement here inside the hard point. Flechette being tossed out as well, just trying to contest the hard point for as long as he can, and keep in mind, less than 10 seconds remaining, so you see on the mini-map most of the players choosing to fight for the rotation over towards the next hard point, but it was really Urban that made things happen for Orbit on that turbine hard point. He was able to push right through the factory. For some reason, Renegades had nobody watching that side of the map as he comes in from behind the flank, takes out all of Renegades as Orbit take the lead.
Now, for the next minute, I'd love to just stay on this Orbit team and kind of showcase this squad, because currently you have Urban taking over the game early. He's 12-6, double positive on a 2-streak. He's got his score streak available. Rewind has just been acquired as well. They have a lot of their payloads working in their favor, as well as just map control. And you look at how Renegades is trying to break in. They're going to have to get through three players who are stacked up, and you can see they're all going to try and crash in at once. Urban will fall, but Zero is there, and it's all blue in the kill feed.
Yeah, an important kill to take down Urban, but everybody else from Orbit is there to back him up. Right now you're seeing Renegades on that previous push. They spread out way too far, so what are they going to do different here? They're going to clump and try to push through, working the trades in their favor, and that doesn't go out well. Zero is able to pick up 3. Renegades don't get much time on this hangar hard point, as now you see Orbit starting to build a lead.
And you can see that Zero is going to be running the Centurion. So tell me a little bit about this payload. He's only about 60% of the way there, but when he gets it, what will this payload do in hardpoint?
It's essentially a jammer combined with a trophy system. So you place it around like an area, like let's say he placed it here on this hard point. When Renegades would get in a certain radius of it, they would be affected by the jammer effects, and then if they're ever to toss any lethals or attack at the Orbit squad, the Centurion would take quick care of that.
Joe doing a nice job making sure nobody sneaks behind their flank. Urban's going to be charging through the front. Renegades desperately trying to get some control of hill time. Unfortunately, they can't make it there. Finally, Ivy's going to break in and is instantly shut down. A very strong game from Orbit so far, doubling up on their opponent's score. Zero now catching up with Urban. He is 15-8. You have Rated, who is +5 as well. This is just a performance from Orbit where they are outslaying their opponents early on in the first 4 minutes.
Outslaying, outperforming. I mean, look at the slaying being done by Renegades right now. Nobody positive. Best player center right now, even 13-13. You have to get Chino more involved in this game. Crafty wall run here by Urban as he's looking over the hard point. Stay alive, staying on the map. Gets on the wall run propulsion, helping him out big time right here.
I don't think I've ever successfully made that jump.
Nice.
And Urban is picking up a triple kill using the walls. He has not touched the ground for over 30 seconds.
Staying on the map, more Renegades players pushing through it, and they're just not expecting it. It gets the beatdown on Diabolic, looking for the second kill after, and he gets it on the Chino. Urban is a man on fire, was on a 5-streak before he got taken down, as it's Orbit now up by close to 100 points.
And while Urban was having the time of his life, just slaying everybody, his teammates are soaking up that time inside the hard point. 15 points remain here, as Renegades will try and get this scrap, but that means that you're most likely going to see this Orbit squad rotating and getting early control. The only player here to defend it is going to be Sender, and he knows everyone is coming his way, immediately taken down. Orbit winning the rotations and winning nearly every gunfight that we're seeing on screen.
Yeah, and this is a great setup for Orbit on this turbine hardpoint. They have control of the counter. Zone out players pushing up the drill street. 2 players inside factory as well, and that's where Renegades is going to be pushing while Diabolic sets up a pitch from the street. You see Orbit players starting to spawn out. It's up to Joe to make a pick play happen with Rated, and they're able to do it. Ivy, the last remaining player here for Renegades. He's just trying to hold some forward positioning. It's a great hold for Orbit as they continue to rack up the time.
Orbit is running away with this game, up 105 points. They've got this hill locked down. Both entrances being watched. Joe, he's got the top watched. He's got Zero watched in the back, and Rated is there to help out as well. And it looks like it's going to be Urban posted up. This man is definitely going to be looking for a 40 bomb. He's already got 25 kills. He's on a 2 streak once again, nearing a minute of hardpoint control as well. On board with Joe now, as he'll be rotating. This is a big rotation. Remember, last time it was Orbit with 3 members inside the hangar that got the majority of this hill time. Renegades is the first there, though. They have 3 players in. Can they keep control, though?
Well, if they want to find their way back into the game, it starts right here, right now on the hangar hardpoint. They win the rotation, starting to trade out some kills, but as Diabolic goes for the reload, he's being challenged in from the balcony. Chino there to help him out as well. Renegades holding on for the time being, but you see Orbit setting up a pinch in from the back rocks. It's going to be centering a key engagement there. If he's able to win that, Renegades maintain control of the spawns. Looks like he should be able to.
And you have 2 players. You have Zero and Rated with their payloads. When do you use it? It looks like Rated just decided to pop his here. And now Zero is going to use his as well.
There's a Centurion.
So they're going to use it with just 23 seconds remaining on this hardpoint. But Orbit wants to make sure they can lock up this game in the next 2 hills. 3:18 left on the clock, as you can see everyone contesting for time. It's Zero, though, clearing house once again. Here is nearing 30 kills. Urban is 1 kill away from getting 30.